Right, so moving on, we're going to start looking at issue 20. I like straight away, pop it out, straight away on the front cover, you've got a gorgeous Fire Slayer, you know, bright red-headed Dowie. I'm just actually having a look at the axe as well. That's quite a cool axe with like a flame in the middle of it. Now, what we're getting in this one though, so we're not just getting a model, we're getting half of a model. And with the reason behind that, by the look of it, is because it's a larger kit. So this is a Marshcrawler Sloggoth, a rather, well, hideously ugly looking creature. It's well, I'm not even sure what it is, to be quite honest. It's kind of crooked, bent over. It's got pasty skin colour to it, like a fleshy coloured skin colour. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's some kind of very strange creature, to say the least. And as I said, I can't really describe what it is. It looks like some sort of, well, maybe some kind of ogre that's gone completely feral over millions of years and twisted over. So it's quite interesting to look at. And then on the back of it, there's going to be a bunch of grots basically goading it on and fighting from the back of it. So it's actually quite a little interesting little model. Probably, you know, I'd say for those of you who don't have the premium kit, it's probably the largest kit you're going to get so far. Of course, for those of us who are paying for the premium kits, we got that beautiful dragon Crondis last month. But here we go. So this is the first sprue. It's quite a large scale sprue. It's got quite, as I said, the monster on top of it has got quite a good size to it. And let's have a look. It looks like this covers, for the most part, the main creature itself, the grot who looks like he's drumming maybe, and it's got some of the arm components to the other grots. So and the you know, you get a scale for how long some of the equipment is. It looks as well like it's almost, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know, it's more like catching equipment than killing equipment by the look of it. So that's quite an interesting concept, that it doesn't seem directly to be, you know, like it doesn't look like it's for fighting. It looks like it's for capturing, well, basically getting captives to use as slaves. So it's quite an interesting model in that regard, and its pose and its purpose, you know, it's quite interesting. As I said, there's quite a few fine detailed and very thin parts on them, which is always a risk of snapping. Lots of spikes as well, just to cut yourself open, because, you know, isn't that part of the fun of doing all of this, slicing all your fingers apart? Right then, let's move on to the issue itself then and have a look at that. So, Monsters of the Chaos Wastes, Mindstealer Spheranxes, so that's quite interesting, like Chimeras and Cygors. Okay, so Monsters of the Chaos Waste, that's quite interesting. And then a little bit of a story called Part 3 of Spearhead. And then this is one that I like, the idea of the Fire Slayers. So as someone who loves the anything related to the dwarfs and the Dowie, I absolutely love these things. The Durridin, that's the one. Yeah. So a little bit about them, how they work, and, you know, basically for those of you who've ever played Warhammer Fantasy Battles years ago, it's basically a whole army of slayers, which is quite cool. Okay, how the you know, how the Sloggoth actually works, its traits that you can give it, and how to build the first part of it. Well, actually, now is it building the first part of it, or is it how to build the entire thing? I'm just having a look. You don't get both halves of the slug of it here, so you need both parts in order to build it. That's a problem, to be quite honest, if you don't manage to pick up issue 20 and you're not on subscription. Right, so okay, so how to build it, and then let's have a look. Yeah, a few more basic rules on how to use mounts and things like that. A little bit of a fight. Yeah, so there we go. Again, nice issue with some, you know, good stories, good content in it. So again, but it does sort of, I don't know, I feel like you've had sprues in a single kit, and looking ahead to 2021, I'm sure we've had bigger sprues than this, you know, bigger kits in a single issue. So I'm not sure why this has been split in two. But, you know, there we go. So what I'll do is, because this is a kind of dual issue with two parts, I'm not going to end the video there. I'm going to move right on. And I just think that makes more sense, because obviously this issue, these two issues have the same model. And this is what I mean by, you know, why is it split in two? Because you only get this little bit on the next part. It's just so small. So again, it doesn't really make sense to me splitting this over two issues. I don't really know why that was done. You know, maybe other than to slow you down, because you can't even start building this in week one. You need both parts together to make it work. Yeah, so I can't see why that wouldn't have fit together, and I'm pretty certain that we've had far bigger kits. But there we go. I do like the model. I'm not criticising the model itself. It's actually a really cool model. It's got quite an interesting look to it that works well with the Cruel Boys kind of appearance of, like, you know, vile, slimy creatures. I just don't feel it should have been split across two issues. So, you know, that's a minor, well, is it a minor gripe? I think it's a fair gripe. It's, you know, it's got quite a decent size base, so it roughly is about the same size as the Manstewer Bolt. And again, when I think about it, the model itself does not seem to be bigger than the Chariot we got for the Stormcasts. Again, making me wonder why it needed to be split over two issues. But never mind, you know what? We got the full thing, and that's what matters. So I can build that later on. And again, I'll do it all at once. I won't split it into two videos. And then moving into having a look at issue 21, it feels thicker. Now that's a positive. Now what's this one? Armies of Ulgu. Ooh, it's a specific realm that feels quite an aggressive place. Interesting. So it's basically the Darkling Covens and Shadow Queen Morithai and the Daughters of Cain. Right. That's actually. By the way, I love the model that they show there. I want that model. That is amazing. Sometimes I just stop talking and then looking at things. Yeah, I like that, and the artwork as well on the cover. That's really cool too. So here we go. More about magic. So again, they do seem to be very twin issues. They cover, you know, both the Orruk magic and then the just magic in general, which is quite nice. Now, let's have a look. Yeah, now, I'm just reading up here. what it is, because they seem to do the full build in the other issue, this is more talking about very specific tips and tricks to actually deal with things like gluing and, you know, scraping and things like that, which is quite interesting. Right down to correcting excessive glue. Then we go into how to paint. So this is right. This might be why this needed to be in 2 issues, because obviously the building of the thing and then the painting of the thing takes up quite a huge amount of space, because there's so many little parts to paint, isn't there? Okay, now we're moving into more rules, and we're dealing with what you might call core rules now, so actually proper rule books rather than just you know, playing something and seeing how it goes. I'm just having a look as well. So you've got the Marshcrawler Sloggoth, and then I'm just having a look. There's a creature next to it on the image with like an Uruk above it that looks similar in build, but obviously it's definitely a different creature entirely. So they're obviously potentially linked somehow in like lore. So that's quite interesting. I think we get that model later on. A little bit of a war scroll, and then Pits of Peril. So this seems like a proper fight now, doesn't it? It is. It's using that new map, and it's right down in the dark, this fight, which is quite cool. Okay, now that's so that basically issues 20 and 21 paired up, which is quite nice. Good little combination. So the kind of like one magazine split into 2. That's probably a good way to describe it. To build a single miniature, there's quite a lot of content in them both. And there we go. So thanks very much for watching this video. It's a bit longer than the normal ones, but I did do 2 videos at once. And please like and subscribe.